Hi, hello, hi, oh gosh, words. Hi, how's everyone doing? It is another lovely Saturday. It is another lovely day of summer camp prompt reveal. Hello, and I see Secondhand Samurai's lurking in here, and Calixtus, hello. How are we doing? I'm excited, because this prompt that oh my gosh, this theme that I just got, I can't words today. I don't know why suddenly I'm just so anxious all of a sudden. Oh, this theme reveal that we got today, I'm so excited for. We're talking about relics. That is the whole thing. Yeah, we got relics. Bring me the holy hand grenade. Yes, absolutely. I love this theme so much because it really relates to my world in a lot of crazy ways, especially since I was just filling out the meta and how I've been kind of focusing on the fact that there's this whole theme around how, like, the entire world is littered with ruins and relics from civilizations like new and old because of how the world works and things just break and rebuild all the time. And so I'm excited I get to explore this theme a whole lot more up and coming in this month. Yee, there's a lot of stuff that I want to explore just throughout the month. Let me see if the homework blog post is ready. Do we have? We do. We do have our homework. So let's see. I'll change to my little screen here. Here we are. And yes, I'm on the home page. Got Janet's face just all over it. But I'm also on the blog. So we get to have a look at this, and we get to look at our actual homeworks and things. And yes, so let me see. Let me get my little pledge article out here. We got this on the screen now. So yes, it is time, and I've also made some additions. Made some additions to my little pledge article. I've included some community stuff, some community goals, my stream schedule for next month. It's a little different. It's a little changed up. I'm adding some days to it. Some days, meaning a day of the week. But yeah, so we've got week 3, relics, preparation. If anyone in here right now has a world they're working on, I'm looking at you, Calixtus. How do these themes tie in with your world? Because again, like, my Malcora is just full of ruins and things that are being overturned constantly. So there are just things to find and lots of adventures to be had. And there's just like the storied history that I started touching on back in, what was the month? September, August? When On the Shoulders of Giants was happening. And yeah, so I started touching on that history with the article that I made, Antecedents. And those were like the people who lived in Malcora before, you know, current era. And so relics of that empire are being found all throughout the world. No one really knows what they're about and what's really going on with them, what they can do with them, but they're there. And the mystery is there to just unlock and discover through exploration. And so that is going to be like the big thing that I think I'm going to try to explore throughout this prompt. Yes. I've had a couple of ideas. I've had kind of a Roman Empire that fell and had 2 successor states. Talked about the most important and successful, but I haven't talked about the other yet. Woohoo! Well, this seems like the perfect opportunity to start talking about that other one. Let's see, I haven't updated my little currently text on stream. There's a new theme. It's a new theme. Talking about relics. Okay, so sorry, I'm just doing a little editing of my stream in the middle of stream, so I'm just taking a second. We run a very tight ship around here. Everything is always going perfect. We're so prepared ahead of time. All right, there we go. Cool. Now we are oriented. We know what we're doing. So yes, let us just start peeking through this blog post. You know, I kind of want to go through the like theme blog post. So we have the power of relics, using history in your world building. So let's see, why build history in your world? Don't get me wrong, I love a good world building timeline, but perhaps you're wondering why you should bother world building the history of your setting. After all, your story takes place in the present moment, right? Not always true. Sometimes you get time travel, and that's a lot of fun. Not in my story though. I don't know if I will ever have time travel in my world. It'd be funny. It could happen. Gods have done weirder things in fantasy settings. Also, in relation to that empire, the holiest statues and the Imperial Orb were saved the day the capital of that empire fell. So I think those would be considered relics, right? Also, there were many Sun Elf dynasties, so many of their temples have become ruins, and some relics from these periods have been recovered. Sorry for the big text. Oh no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I do not mind the little paragraphs. They're fun to read. I like getting to know what you guys are up to. Let's see. So yeah, holiest statues and Imperial Orb that were saved. Absolutely, I would consider those relics. Like, for sure. Because of course the relics are the things that are recovered, and that's kind of the idea here. So if these were like kind of important or ancient or just old, and they've been recovered, they'd be relics, because they're relics of this past thing. So yeah, they're... I don't know, during stream we were talking about a lot of great ways to kind of approach the topic. Of like, it can be, you know, in like the literal sense, like you have a relic of a lost empire, and then someone's like, oh, what if you have like your little baby shoes from when you were a baby? It's like a relic of your youth, you know? So there's a lot of little tiny fun ways to go through this. Well, let's see. History is a source of mystery and adventure. There's a reason that movies like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, The Mummy, National Treasure, and The Jungle Cruise continue to capture the imagination. In the DM's Guide for AD&D 1979, Gary Gygax's first dungeon adventure takes place in forgotten crypts beneath an ancient monastery. Ooh. True. Oh, and let's see. The Imperial Orb has an electric magic inside. It's kind of important. I like that relic from your youth. Yeah, I can't take credit for that idea, but it was one that was mentioned during stream, and I think that's pretty fun. Like it revolves around this whole theme of, like, during summer camp, like taking prompts and bending them to fit what you're actually trying to write and the world that you're trying to build. And so, you know, maybe you're in a world where you don't really have or consider relics in the traditional sense. So maybe there are just things that people hold on to for a very long period of time, and that's just what they consider to be relics. Or like some old thing that just no one's cleaned up this thing, or no one's taken down maybe this old sign. And so that old sign on like the side of a building could be a relic of a past era, you know? So there's a lot of different ways that we can just bend this so it's not like, oh, this is some ancient relic from a holy, like, civilization of old. Like, okay, maybe you just don't have those. We can find a workaround easy. And I'm listening in on the, Pungeon over on WorldAnvil stream right now. And they're making relic puns, and it's so good. So good. Oh no, I missed Pungeon time. Oh, it's so good. It's really brave of people to be buying Pungeon entries when Dimmy missions are 50,000 points. Very creative with Pungeons, absolutely. That is precisely why Dimmy is pricing the missions so high, because he wants to make sure that people are like spending all their points. Or he wants to make sure that people aren't spending all their points on puns, so that they can afford missions later. Some people are like, no, I want the puns instead. I don't want a mission. I want to make Dimmy cry. I thought I had enough points, but nope. Yeah, I'm kind of just like a lurker in pretty much every stream. And like I have my Prime sub, so I get like little multiplier and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of just accumulate points throughout the year. I had 64,000 before buying it, and so now we're just gonna hope that I'll have enough by WorldAnvil to get another mission. Because I love the missions, I think they're fantastic. The mission that Dimmy gave me during WorldAnvil this past year was to make the map that actually won me the cartography award this year. And so can't really complain about those results. I'm going for another mission. Dimmy knows how to look at your worlds and tell you what you need. And so yeah, I like the process. And so I'm excited to see what comes out of it this year. But yeah, so getting back to this little history theme. The past, even the past of our own world, is a mysterious exotic location all of its own. The maps are unreliable, we don't know anyone who's been there, and there's treasure and power to be found for the savvy survivors, and maybe ancient monsters too. Mystery, danger, exploration, and treasure. This is an ideal combination for a lot of speculative fiction and world building. And what makes it an ideal place to search for story hooks? And that makes it an ideal place to search for story hooks. Whether it's the ancient aliens in a sci-fi world, Stargate, or forgotten artifacts of immeasurable evil, Lord of the Rings, the past can offer up some pretty hefty powers in your world building, so that's a tie-in to the first week's theme. This is both true in terms of technology, magic, and protagonists. Blade 3 has, spoiler alert, a great example of modern vampires trying to resurrect the first vampire in an ancient Syrian tomb. Again, bringing back a power from the past. So yeah, there's all these fun things, ancient aliens, forgotten artifacts. There's also considerations like financial reward for ancient artifacts, which is what drives Tomb Raider's Lara Croft, Uncharted's Nathan Drake, Alan Quatermain, King Solomon's Mines, and arguably Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit. WorldAnvil's rating in, oh my gosh, hi everybody! Secondhand Samurai, Kajitan Rights, Rugrat 1, Kitoipoi, hi everybody. Oh my gosh, the follows. Rugrat 1, thank you. Moonlight Bard. Ellen Harmony, Koragath, thank you for following. Hi, how are we everybody? Who else here is so excited about the new theme reveal that they just can't like control themselves right now? I'm just out here like, I love this theme. Listen, they dropped the word relics and I'm just like, I'm on it like, Camp Feral represent. Absolutely. I love you guys. Hi, how is everybody? Oh gosh, more follows. Shadow Phoenix, thank you. TL Cassis, Alisar, Wyvern Wing, thank you everybody for coming by and following. I am excited to see how you guys are interpreting this theme for your worlds. What are your thoughts? What's everyone doing? What's everyone up to? Let's see what other nice names have popped up in my chat. That mom friend talks. Hello. Korshaw, I don't think I mentioned you yet. Hello. DM Stretch. Hello, hello, hello. Sarukis. Hello. Haha. Tillers, also hello. It's a pleasure to see literally everyone here. Let's see, I appreciate all the shoutouts to Camp Feral. It is my favorite little thing, and I'm so excited that so many people are just taking it and running off with it. Kind of, you know, feral behavior. You just take a thing and just, yeah, you know? So let's see. Toy Boy, you have a game in 45 minutes, need a cat nap? Well, you enjoy your cat nap, you enjoy your game. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following a little raid over here. Yeah. Rugrat 1, I built an ancient Civ last summer camp. It's a perfect way to tie it into my modern day world. Ooh, yes. Absolutely. Last year, I was just talking about this before everyone raided in. I wrote about an ancient civilization in Melkora last year during a competition, and I think that this theme is going to be the perfect place for me to just start talking about it and start getting more into it. And so that's exciting. All the relics that people find from this ancient civilization, it's not a whole lot, but they keep finding them and they don't know what they mean. So yes, let's see. Moonlight Bard says very, very well. It's a high energy, high pleasantness day. Excited, ambitious, and motivated. Yes, this is the energy that we're trying to keep up today. Mom Friend talks. I'm doing my best to pick up the pen again, and this is a very good way to get back into it. Heck yeah. Cass is busy copying and updating Greylion's SummerCamp countdown page. Oh my gosh, yes. They showed that on the stream, and that blew my mind. I didn't even know that stat blocks could, you know, do stuff like that. It's so fun. Oh, and Commodore Captain, thank you for following. Yeah, let's see. DM Stretch, quickly getting dinner down my neck before D&D game tonight. Don't start for an hour and 15 minutes, but I want to do stuff beforehand. Heck yeah. Oh, Dimmy shouted out Camp Feral and Dewey Diamonds. Yay! yeah, he mentioned wanting to do that, and I was like, oh gosh, everyone's noticing my little clubs. I hope we get more. I hope we get a couple more picking up. I actually started making a little section in my pledge article talking about the other camps that exist. So we have, of course, the Bronze Buddies and Camp Chill. So if you guys know of any actual like badges that are floating around the site for summer camp right now, do let me know. Feel free to shoot them my way, like on Discord or something. I would love to feature them. Because I want to make sure that all of these little clubs are here because I know people love collecting badges. And so if you're gonna come look at my badges, I want you guys to see everyone else's badges so you can find exactly the perfect little clubs for you. I totally went all Camp Feral over the global feed this morning. Anvil Sailors too, it's a camp for reading and commenting. Ooh, do they have a badge? If they have a badge, like absolutely send me a link to it and I will totally pop it into my article. Like this is true of any that pop up. Like, you know, we do have openings for little club badges for silver tier and gold tier, I think. Yes, because I know we have bronze buddies with Time Pool, which is excellent. I love that badge. It's so cute. Let's just have a look at it. Look at that! Isn't that great? I love this badge. Ooh. They do. I will DM you. Oh, perfect. And I will add that in. It's adorable. Yeah, isn't it so cute? So if you are one of the many people that I know are like super busy, and you want to make some manageable goals for yourself, join the Bronze Buddies. Join the Bronze Buddies. You will be a winner even if you just get bronze. And if you end up overshooting your goal, excellent. That'll be amazing. Oh, and I just got your DM. Perfect. Alright, I'm a bit warm now. Spicy chorizo with pasta, garden peas, fiery chili pesto. I think I've just developed a fire breath attack. Oh gosh, that sounds delicious though. Oh my gosh. Man, I haven't really had like a proper meal yet today. I had like my morning snacks and it's already past lunchtime. So you know once I get off stream I'm gonna be like devouring stuff. Bruh, oh no. I'm probably in trouble for not having breakfast now. Actually super new. What are the clubs? What's the method to even join? I'm interested in Team Hurrahs. Alright, so at least in the case of, well, I mean, honestly, I think in the case of any of them, you don't really have to join them, for example, but if you identify with them and you're like, yeah, that sounds like something I can get behind, it really is as simple as just, you can grab the image code for the different badges and you can like put them on your pledge article or you can put them on your summer camp articles somewhere. And it basically just, it just fosters a little like community spirit of like, yeah, we're in these little clubs and we're cheering for each other and and you just like, you see people in chat like, you know, Camp Feral, Camp Feral. Yeah, and so I will toss you guys a link to my pledge article. And so you'll be able to click on the little badges for Camp Feral. You can click on this and there's all this information here. And same with the Dewey Diamonds. If you click on the badge, you'll get this this little thing. There's like a little rules list. But it's not like you're not bound to anything. Essentially, Camp Feral is for you if you are just so excited and so hyped about summer camp that you just like can't keep it all in. It has nothing to do with how many prompts you plan to do. It has nothing to do with like how much you plan to write. It's just how excited you are and how you plan to spread that excitement with the community, you know? And the Dewey Diamonds is specifically for... Oh, you included the 7 tomes in the pledge. Yes, absolutely. I want to introduce everyone to the chapter. Because like I'm trying to get things rolling, get things moving. I know I've been so busy that I haven't been able to do everything I wanted to do with the chapter yet, but we're getting there. But like I was saying, Dewey Diamonds is for those of you who are specifically shooting for diamond, but you're trying to keep that mindset of camp chill. So if you're trying to be really chill about it, but you are shooting for that goal and you are trying to hit diamond, this is for you. And so basically it's just like the rules essentially for Dewey Diamonds, like your diamond is your goal. It's okay if you don't get there, but that has to be your goal. And so you should be supporting your fellow dewdrops, and that's what I'm calling all the Dewey Diamonds. Bring love to the community, like, you know, send out comments and likes and support the people that are, you know, working towards these goals together. And make time for self-care. That's the important part. That's, you know, like the camp chill tie in there. Like, take care of yourself, but remember, you know, like we're working hard, so support each other, strive for diamond. Yeah. And that's so cute to call them dewdrops. Yes, I think so too. And if you happen to be both Camp Feral and a Dewey Diamond, I've been calling you Feral Dewdrops. And and so yes, if you are in both camps, you are my Feral Dewdrops and I love you. So yeah, we are in here, we are talking about that they bite. Oh no. It is true. Just keep your hands away from them whenever prompts release, or else they might like get you mixed up and just like you know. So just be careful. So Feral Dewdrop happened since day 1. Oh yay! Feral Dewdrops unite. Yes. So if you're going for copper, you can instead be a feral buddy. And I love that. But yes, we have come to the decision that you can be both Camp Chill and Camp Feral. Because you can be extremely excited and still take care of yourself. Still take some time to relax. You know, in between your sessions of like growling and hissing at like, you know, the delays between prompt releases. Yeah, so we are here to dive into this homework. We were reading through the little blog post before everyone jumped in. And yeah, so we're looking at all kinds of things. There's financial reward for different artifacts, secrets that support the status quo waiting to be overturned, and secret history reveals, like the Da Vinci Code. And maybe the story of how the monarch claimed the throne has some holes in it. Yes, that is a theme that I can talk about in the region that I plan to write about most in summer camp, and that's really excellent. I love seeing things like that in the blog posts. Yeah, so welcome back, DM Stretch. Yeah, but gotta balance out the chaos every once in a while, you know? Yeah, like even crazy little rabid raccoons need to take a little nap every once in a while, and so that is precisely why you can be both chill and feral. Gotta take our little power naps so that we can keep up the ruckus. Let's see, a word of warning. Watch out if you have species with significant longevity, like elves, who can live for hundreds, Forgotten Realms, or thousands, World of Warcraft, of years, or even forever in Tolkien. If your characters have a chance to interview an eyewitness and don't, make sure stupid is on their character profile. Oh, that's rich. I love that. And I'd like to say even most chill people deserve to be a little feral as well as a treat. Yes, everyone gets a little bit of feral activity as a treat. I like to imagine that that's the energy of everyone who pops into the WorldAnvil streams right before the blah, and then they just in all caps blah, you know. That's a little feral moment even for the chill people. Yeah, so and history shows trends in world building. No world is static and no world setting should be. After all, we want our world building projects to feel dynamic and authentic. And change is a great way to establish mood in your world building too. If it's a dark setting, chances are it's getting worse. Typically true. A brighter setting might be improving in some or many ways. That's all well and good, but how do you show that change? Contrast! Establishing the before and contrasting it with the now is vital for showcasing change. How has technology changed in the last 5 years, in the last generation, in the last century? What about social attitudes, religions, and quality of life? And of course, why has this changed? Don't know about the writing, but I'm always feral. Listen, Camp Feral, again, you don't even have to write a single thing for Camp Feral. You just have to be excited. Like, this is the season to start getting wild. Then once you start putting writing goals on top of it, that's when you become a little dewdrop, or if you become a bronze buddy, or anything else. Yeah, let's see, this is a trick that grimdark worlds use very well. Show the brightness of a fallen golden age tarnished to rust. Show how beautiful things once flourished, then mar them. Alternatively, for a bright world, describe how the privations of the past have changed, or are decreasing. Social injustice, technology, quality of life for the poor, or disease and mortality rates are all great aspects of a bright world to be trending upwards. Stories about grandparents or vestiges and relics of the older world, like defunct tools and professions. Lamplighter, perhaps, or Night Soil Man are great ways to show this. I don't actually know what that means. We're gonna consult the Google. Say, historically used euphemism for human excreta collected from cesspools, privies, pail closets, pit latrines, privy middens, septic tanks, etc. Very nice. We love talking about this stuff. But yeah, those things are now defunct. We don't really do that no more. Though we do have sanitation workers, and those are still very important. Thank your local sanitation worker today. If you have one, if you see one, I don't know. I used to stay late at work and see them a lot, and they were excellent. But now we don't get overtime, so I don't stay late at the office anymore. Yes, history can be a great show don't tell. Did you know that the Ottoman sultans considered themselves Roman emperors? Inheritors of the Roman Empire? So did Charles V, King of Spain, and Holy Roman Emperor. And then of course there's Charlemagne 7 centuries earlier, and Napoleon 2 centuries later. There's even the German Empire in 1871, all of which, one way or another, claimed lineage from the Great Roman Empire. Yes, send love to your local janitors and the third shift folks, they deserve it, absolutely. They deal with so much shit, sometimes literally, so appreciate them, please. Let's see, don't get me wrong, the Roman Empire was impressive, but so were the Assyrians and the Babylonians before them. The Romans, though, became the symbol of overarching organized power in the early modern and modern world. That's really what Napoleon, Suleiman the Magnificent, and Charles V were saying. I am as powerful as the Romans. Not to mention history has conferred this inheritance upon me. So how does that help your world building? Well, these claims only make sense because we know the history. So creating these kinds of historical powers, empires, great kings, and what have you, allows you to have various imitators, ancestors, and inheritors in the time that you're telling your own story. How about the CEO who aggrandizes himself as the next Alexander the Great, or a megacorp who believes they're the next Roman emperor? The next Roman Empire, or your world's equivalent. All this adds flavor and depth and authenticity to your world building, and it can create interesting conflict between conflicting visions and potential stories in the present too. After all, who can claim history? Well, historically, it's the victors. And yes, people love a prequel, and a prequel requires a past. Another good point. Won't link Star Wars, Dune, Narnia, and The Hunger Games? No, it's not that they're all awesome, it's that they all have successful prequels. Prequels, a story focusing on events that precede those of a prior work, can be useful for both writers and dungeon masters for a lot of reasons. First of all, they can give you a reason to flesh out the history of a setting. Yes, good. Good, good, good. This is all excellent. I love reading through this. Honestly, right. Now I'm thinking of setting some kind of consumable relic. If I'd been in a post-apocalyptic world, it could be something as simple as car batteries. True, absolutely. As someone who, not recently, but as someone who does play in a post-apocalyptic LARP, this is something that does come up quite often. Sometimes we'll just find old fuel resources and different things that we can start to incorporate into what we are doing now in the actual story that we're trying to do. And that's how interesting new technology comes about. And these things are pretty rare, and they're kind of a spectacle when they do show up. And so, as much as I would love to read through this entire blog, I will share it all with you. I'm sure you already have the link, but I will share the link in here. Absolutely, everyone go have a little read through of that. But in the meantime, I think I will start editing my little pledge article here to include this week's homework. So let's see. Get into you see all my wacky BB code in here. Just a lot of stuff in here. Where am I? Oh no, I've gone too low. There we go. Theme 3. Aha, I now remember. Oh wait, I already have this window open. I have to find myself a little icon for relics. What are our suggestions? If I type in relic, does anything pop up? Oh, look, old scroll. Sure. What's a fun little way to get through this? An abacus? I mean, hey, actually an abacus would be like a really good way to do that, because I don't think I've seen an abacus in 12,000 years, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, we're gonna grab the abacus. If we come up with a different idea sometime in the future, we'll change it up. But, you know, with power we have the little magic hand, little sparkles. For Frontier, I have a little transporter. Because if we're gonna talk about Star Trek and space, the final frontier, I can't not have a little beam me up icon for the Frontier theme. So let's just get that in there. Section. I hope you like the clicky clacky keyboard. What was the official name? Okay, it's RELICS, plural. So there we go, RELICS. Okay. So let's see. We can do a little refresh here. Oh, did I not? Oh, because I typed in, why did I type in section? Hello? There we go. Alright, our little relics and the abacus. I've not seen an abacus since I was a kid, and even that was a toy. Yeah, my only physical experience with an abacus is when my mom would take me to the bank, and they'd have like the little kids section waiting room, essentially, like the little kids corner. And they'd have like the funny little toys where you move little wooden beads along the wire. And they also have just like abacus that you can play with. That's it. That's it. That's my only experience with an abacus. Never in any like actual application that I think they were intended for. Well, they could have theoretically been toys at one point. You know, teach your kids how to be smart and do math and stuff. Alright, let's think about this. Well, keyboard ASMR is the theme of my writing streams. Because my microphone is like right next to my keyboard, so I hope you don't mind. I think the clicky clacks sound nice. That's why I got this keyboard. Just kidding. I got this keyboard because it lights up and it's like moving in a rainbow, and I really like that. But the bonus is that it doesn't sound too chunky for me. It's still a very strong contrast to my laptop keyboard, which is like dead silent, which I think is normal. I think that's just how laptops work typically. But just going from my laptop to having an actual like keyboard for my PC was kind of a big change. I was very against it for a while. I have to shoot out now. Hope you have a good stream. See you later. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. I appreciate you, and I will maybe catch you next time. Let's see, and yeah, next time is tomorrow. Same time. Except tomorrow is my little gaming Sunday stream, because I like to take my Sundays to just hang out and chill. Because I need to. If I don't carve out the time to do it like on stream or something, I just don't do it at all, so. It's the relic theme. Ties in beautifully. Previous two. The RELICS theme ties in beautifully with the previous two, especially in the context of Malcora and its history. Friends and relics abound. Found throughout the world, as it is one that regularly makes and breaks empires. In a literal sense. Yes, so I'm really excited about this theme specifically for Malcora because my world, just like on a metaphysical level, like on a magical level, is one that causes like the literal destruction and reconstruction of empires all the time. So people need to be very quick about rebuilding, evacuating, moving back in, like any of these things, like they are just forced out of their homes frequently. And by frequently I mean like, you know, anywhere from years to centuries, like people don't really get to claim a land for too terribly long because magic just kind of bends and shifts the world physically all the time, and naturally a lot of like constructed things just don't really survive necessarily. Especially when the magic takes, you know, say like your literal building materials and transforms them into something else that's extremely weak by comparison. So now all of your towers are just crumbling on themselves under their own weight. You're gonna have to rebuild those somehow and find new materials to do it, and if you can't find the new materials to do it, well, you need to go out and get them from somewhere else, or go somewhere else that has those materials that you need. And so they're like these relics of old civilizations that have crumbled and fallen apart and have been abandoned. And maybe people move into new places and find them. Or maybe people are just adventuring through different lands that no one really lives in anymore, but they find evidence that people used to. And so this is supposed to be like a very common phenomenon in my world. And so I'm very excited to get to write about these different relics that could exist throughout, and what they would mean and what their significance is. Let's see, for themes so far we have a concept, power, a place, frontier, a thing, relics. I think next week's theme / homework will involve a person, people, species. I really hope so. I was really angling for like a theme revolving around cultures. Like cultures or relationships, or like how people live together, you know, like ethnicities and all that kind of stuff. But the relics theme, they seem to really be piling on like the history aspect, which also includes the people, you know? Yes, something from the 4th category of noun. Yes. But yeah, so with the relics, again, we're angling with like the whole history theme. You're writing about, you know, the people who used to be, and how that informs the people who are now. And so while I am still hoping for something that really dives into like present day cultures, I'm a little worried that because we're talking so much about like older, like ancient cultures, lost cultures, cultures that have produced relics, we might not get another specifically people-oriented one. But I'm hoping for like, we can go like for a little past and present dynamic. But yeah, I don't know. I will still sit on that for my little prediction. Like, you know, maybe we'll get something culture-based. That'd be really great. Jim's World, thank you for following. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Oh, it's windy outside. I sit next to my window, like right next to it, and so sometimes it just feels like I can just hear everything outside of this window. It's like I have it open sometimes, and it's just like I can hear people talking like outside, like by the entryway. It's like, why do I hear you like you're sitting right outside my open window? And don't worry, they're not, because I keep checking because I'm paranoid like that. They most certainly are not next to my window, but I can hear them like they are. Very silly. Yeah, so let's see. Relics theme. I just need to finish my little write-up so I know exactly what I'm working with here, what my thoughts are cooking up for this week's theme. So yes, ties in beautifully with the previous two, especially in the context of Malcora and its history. Just rereading what I already wrote. Ruins and relics abound throughout the world, as it is one that regularly makes and breaks empires, in a literal sense. Magical shifts in the world and its landscapes often necessitates evacuation or rebuilding or rebuilding of long-standing settlements, some of which residents never properly return to. As countless relics of abandoned civilizations can be found throughout. Spelled that word wrong. I forgot the R. We found throughout Malcora, as though waiting for adventurers to stumble upon them. And I, as the writer, say, of course they are waiting for adventurers to stumble upon them. I want them to come stumble upon them. Yes, so we get a little paragraph or two. So countless relics of abandoned civilizations can be found throughout Malcora, as though waiting for adventurers to stumble upon them. Let's see. I want to... Ooh, you know, okay. I'm gonna pop out here. I'm gonna go back to my homepage. Is it still on the front page? No, it's not. I have to search my own world. Me dangling plot hooks to my players. Yeah. You dangle things in front of them and then they don't take them. So you just kind of shove them at them. But yeah, so I was mentioning earlier that I do have an article about an ancient civilization that did exist in my world prior to like humanity in the modern day. And so that would be the antecedents. And so these are, in fact, the ancient ancestors of modern humanity and founders of magic, for better or for worse. And so this would definitely be one of the things, like one of the major themes that I kind of call back during like exploring this theme. Especially because one of its major cities existed in what is now kind of like the main region that I'm planning to develop during summer camp and like maybe throughout the year as well. And so I get to explore this history that has historically been barred from being studied in this region for who knows what reason. Someone here at the top does not want anyone researching this any further. So maybe we'll get to see why that is. Maybe we'll write about that topic a little bit more. And I will share the article with anyone who would like to read it. It was my entry for On the Shoulders of Giants, little competition last year. It got shortlisted, which is really cool. It was my first time participating in like one of the big like monthly challenges back when they were more common. And I think this is like I think this is actually like the last like judged monthly competition since, you know, the last one we had. Yeah, so I did make this little map for it, and I'm thinking I'm going to include this map over on my pledge article so we can kind of look at it. But yeah, so this region up here is the one that I'm planning to develop a lot more. I don't know if you can see my little circling cursor. I can't really zoom in on this either. I'm gonna do this pro strat of just open in a new tab and then zoom in. This over here, like this corner with like the big castle right here, this region is the Kingdom of Arsavella, and that is what I'm going to be trying to focus on. Kind of like how, you know, when you jump into a video game for the first time and you have a starting zone, this is basically what I want it to be. And so this is the region that I'm going to try to like focus on, flesh out more, so then as I write more things, I can kind of say like, you know, I can branch out from there instead of just having like dot, 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 you know, across the map where I'm just writing about stuff, random stuff. So I can maybe write little stories where things like venture out and happen in other places of the world. And we just kind of start from this one central hub. And so we will see how that goes. These starting zones are always useful to expand off of. Yeah, I'd like to think so. Like especially, like I don't have a concrete plan for what I want to do, like what I want to do with my world. I am thinking I would love to do something similar to D&D, because I don't think that the actual D&D system would like work for how I'm writing this world. But like, you know, having like a tabletop, like a campaign, maybe venture into making my own system one day. Well, we're not there yet. We are not there yet. But I would love to have like a little system in place that I could maybe put games into this world with. And so that'd be a really great thing if I can manage to do that at some point. And so having a little starting zone where you can have like your little level 1 to 3 adventure, I think that'd be absolutely perfect. I just add a little image tag in here under a spoiler because I don't want it to take up too much space. Quest boards out the wazoo. So many rats in basements. Yes, absolutely. You're gonna be fighting crabs out on the salt flats, you know what I mean? Like, it's just how it is. Pop into a video game, you gotta fight crabs. I don't make the rules. So yeah, so we have this under a little spoiler, so you can pop it open. Oh, and I do need to add, I did get the link from Sarukis. Thank you very much for this. So it's at the bottom. Okay, Anvil Sailors. Yes, okay, so we have one more badge to add to our little collection here. Let's see, do they include the BB code? No, I'll just have to acquire it. Bum, ba, bum, bum. So now we go here. Just paste this here real quick. Oh, now I need to remember where exactly. Is it you? Are you where I begin my copy-paste adventure? Da, da, da. So let's see. Sailing Ocelot made this, okay. It's clicking through all my tabs because I keep losing where I am somehow. Sailing Ocelots. Anvil Sailors. So let's see. Any folk who would like to attempt to join in an attempt by commenting on folks' articles now and again to facilitate encouragement and summer camp cheer. Okay, so we shall. Bum, 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 bum. I have 3 tabs and get lost every time. Yeah, I have 6 open in this window right now, and I have like 8 more open in a different window. And I have 3 more open on this screen over here with the blog post. It's unmanageable. I don't know how people do this. I know people who keep like 1,000 tabs open at once. Like, how? How do you do this? Like, I simply could never because I close everything, like shut off my computer every single day, so I just can't keep things open like that.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, thank you for the sippy. Gotta remember to stay hydrated around here. Oh, by the way, I do have my little WorldAnvil mug. It's the one that I grabbed today. So yes, I'm still waiting for my grab your sippy and go world build mug. I don't know if it's gonna happen at this point, but it needs to. One of my friends has 4 monitors and I would simply perish trying to keep track of everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I get 3 monitors at work, which like it's pretty required, like I need to look at a billion different things at once. But I have 2 monitors at home. One of them is my tablet, so it's like kind of a monitor, kind of not. I would love to get myself, I need a like bigger desk first of all, but I would love to get myself like 2 monitors and then my tablet as well. But we need to do some upgrades. I would like to replace my desk before I do something like that because it's a little bit small for that goal. It's also kind of old. It's been with me through several moves at this point, so like disassembling it, reassembling it multiple times has kind of made it a little bit too rickety, and I don't want to put like new stuff on it until, you know, I don't want it to break. Every time I bump into my desk, I'm like, oh. I have like a moment. I watch it like, still in one piece. It's rough. But yeah, I would like to get myself another monitor because that'd be fantastic. Because of course, since I'm an artist, I I have my tablet. The entire tablet is occupied by my Photoshop, so I can't really have anything else on there. But at the same time, my main monitor is big enough that that's like, I typically have like 3 or 4 things visible on my main monitor at a time. Just, is this the day you collapse kind of vibe? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, is this the one time like I'm gonna bump into my desk the wrong way and everything just and then I weep. Because this wasn't a particularly expensive desk either, so the fact that it's lasted this long is also very nice. A little unexpected, but I will not complain. The only reason I'm kind of holding off on doing it right now immediately is because I don't know if I'm gonna be specifically in this like apartment for forever. So I don't want to start hauling more stuff up here. I love the place that I live. So I would love to continue living in this complex for like as long as possible. But I would love to see if I could get myself like a 1 or 2 bedroom at some point. You know, like still here, but like I'm currently in a studio. You know, they have different offerings here. So if I could get myself a bigger apartment, like here, that'd be fantastic. I would instantly buy myself a bigger desk. But yeah, that's for another time. That's not for at least another half a year for me to consider. It's good to hear you're vibing with your living space. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a huge change from where I used to live before this, where I didn't even know who my property manager was. The owners of my previous apartment literally changed hands and didn't tell anybody. So that's really cool. I moved in there with one of my friends, like, so he was like the official tenant there. We tried to get me on the lease for months, but then the landlord just like never got back to us on it. So that's pretty cool. I just technically didn't live there, but I did live there. But yeah, they changed hands, didn't tell anybody, so my roommate ended up paying the rent to the wrong person for like 2 months. Landlords can cash these hands. Yeah, like 99% of them absolutely can. And oh my gosh, like this place that I live in right now, like oh my gosh. They have like a little, like obviously they have a work order system, so if something goes wrong in your apartment, you submit a work order and they, you know, come fix it. It's so insane. It's so different from where I used to live previously. I've put in 2 work orders total since I moved here. And both times, like I'd hit the little submit button in the app and I'd be like, okay, time to go about my day. And then 30 seconds later, I'd get a call from the property manager like, hey, we got your work order. Are you in or out today? We'll have someone come fix it for you. And like, immediate. Instant. It's so crazy. So if any landlord is not catching these hands, it's mine. Yeah, it's a damn good response time, absolutely. It didn't make me wait on anything. Yeah, it was like the first time like I came back from a vacation and it turns out that while I was away, my freezer just stopped working. So that's really cool. They literally replaced my fridge the same day. That's crazy. Like a whole brand new fridge. Yeah, so that's pretty sick. And the most recent one was like my ceiling light in my kitchen went out and they replaced the bulb same day. So it's really great. I feel like I actually matter here. And that's pretty cool. They see me as a person with needs. And I hate how uncommon that is with landlords. Yeah, I sure hope so. Oh, I spelled aim wrong. Let's see if we refresh this if it's a little bit too long. I'll do a little refreshy. Yeah, we'll do that. That's pretty good. And so yeah, now we have 3 different badges here. So that's pretty cool. We're just adding to our little list here. So I would definitely consider myself one of the Anvil sailors. I'm trying my best to leave like little likes and comments on everyone's articles that I'm able to go see. But of course, things are getting a little busy again. I did mention our Kickstarter successfully funded for the Dystopia Rising like Survivors board game. And so that means I have a lot of work to do upcoming. And it's pretty sick. I've done a lot of really great work for this project. Some of my best, if I'm honest with you. The link to the Kickstarter is in my like little about section. It should be just in there. I guess I need to edit it to not say live on Kickstarter anymore. But yeah, so if you want to check out Survivors, a Dystopia Rising game, feel free to just have a little click, just have a little look around. All the art that you see is mine. So this is, as far as the art is concerned, this is a one-man show. But of course I am working with like this isn't my project, of course. I'm just a contracted artist. But I'm a member of the Dystopia Rising community, and so that is why I, you know, got involved with this project, and it's why I started doing it. And so it is run by our team lead, Mooney Bin Entertainment. That'd be Sean. And so we have a lot of great writers on the team from Dystopia Rising, creating stories and making everything come together. And so it's really fun. The game itself seems really cute, and so I am looking forward to like getting my hands on a copy when I'm able. But yeah, it can be a solo game, or it can just like solo game to 5 players, I believe is what it was. So you can take yourself on some adventures through the post-apocalypse and see if you can find the perfect place to settle down. Just make sure you don't get eaten by zombies. Let's see, let's keep writing some stuff for this theme here. Where was I? Countless relics of abandoned civilizations can be found throughout Melkora as though waiting for adventurers to stumble upon them. Carrying me on the shoulders. Oh, spell shoulder right, that'd be a good start. Shoulders of giants. Challenge. Last here. I wrote about the antecedents. Or the ancient ancestors of humanity. Yeah, both the goal to engage the community and the successful funding, yes. I'm very excited about both. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am to just kind of get more involved with the community and just like spread love. Because I've been saying it for pretty much ever since I joined the website like 5 years ago at this point. Something like 5 years. Like this is my favorite place to be, is my favorite group of people to just hang out with, talk to, share with. I wanna spread that love. I wanna make like this community is growing at such a huge rate. And so if we don't take the time to like engage with each other and spread the love, it's going to kind of fall into that kind of situation that a lot of big communities fall into, where things just don't feel personal anymore. And I think that is the strength of the WorldAnvil community, where we are actively trying to like keep that family together, you know? Like we are trying to spread the love, spread the excitement, and just keep supporting each other in our journeys, because We all have very different, very big journeys. And so we're just trying to keep this good, like, community feeling alive. Despite the fact that we're like, what is it, like millions of users at this point? So obviously not all of those users are going to be like in the Discord, talking to everybody, sharing their work with everyone. But those who are, I think, you know, like we should really be trying to like include each other and spread the love. And literally across the globe as well, exactly. So we should be making and maintaining connections, or else, you know, things might just fall into a weird place. Like, I don't want any like active person in WorldAnvil to feel like they're a stranger. You know, like I really hope that every person who like comes in and chats and makes work and shares it with people, like, I hope that everybody is able to find like at least a friend. You know, and just like some of those people, like some people who are just happy to see you. And of course, that also puts some responsibility on us to be that person for someone else. Like, if there are people in the community that you love seeing and you see their name pop up in chat, just... There's nothing more fun than just, like, sending a message in the chat and just someone being like, oh, Strixline! Hello! And so sometimes, you know, you just see someone pop up and you're like, oh, you! Hi, how are you? What's new? And that just makes you feel a lot more welcome to come speak in that space, you know? Because like I am no stranger, absolutely no stranger to feelings of like negative self-worth. Sometimes it is very difficult for me to convince myself that my work is worth sharing. And it's like, it's this community that like keeps just like battering me with love that makes me feel like, you know, I can do this. It's worth it. Like I'm actually producing work that people want to see. That's so crazy. The best energy ever when people are like, OMG, you, I've been thinking about you. It's like I exist in your head when I'm not there. Yeah, that's literally like, that's the best part. And like especially recently, like I've had a couple people be like, hey, I saw these memes and I thought about you. Like shout out to Katoblepon who did that to me recently. Just like a collection of images, and I was like, oh, you think of me. So that is like what we're trying to keep alive and keep going just now and into forever. So yeah, I'm gonna, if I see an article I like, I'm gonna pop a like on it. I might even share it with people. I might even leave a nice comment telling you what I liked about it. As you absolutely should, yeah. It's like, it is my calling, it is my goal, it is my dream. This is why I am feral. This is why I've introduced Camp Feral. Let's see. During On the Shoulders of Giants challenge last year, I wrote about the antecedents who were the ancient ancestors of humanity. My window is... my window is larger than my, typing window. Okay, there we go. Their empire is the most ancient known to Malcora, but historians yet know little. My favorite thing is someone who just enjoys artwork and creations to just drop paragraphs of thoughtful love for different creators. Oh yes, that's so wonderful. And like, as a creator, like, I thank people like you. So I cannot tell you just how heartwarming it is for me to like post something, especially something big, and like I know that I've worked on it for 10,000 years. And like even the little comments, like even the little acknowledgements from people like, hey, I love this. I just Those people are so nice. Especially these days when there's so many people on the internet that are just not nice. We gotta keep the love going so that we can just drown all that stuff out. Like, we know the bad's not going away. Whatever. We'll just add more love to it. Sometimes it's just how it be. It costs just as much to be kind as it does to be mean, and being kind is way cooler. That is true. Yeah, we are adopting the notion of radical kindness. So just be good to each other. And yeah, if we can't make the entire world better, we can at least make our little corner of it better, and I think that's still a pretty big win. If enough people make their little corner better, who knows what'll happen? Yes, exactly. Just one little step at a time. I'm gonna see if this looks decent as like this mega paragraph. No. Maybe this, though? Maybe this will work? And just switch which paragraph becomes large? Those 6 lines? I think anything more than that's a little too blocky for me. I kinda like this little theme that I have going on where I'm just adding like extra little tidbits of something under the spoiler for each week's theme. So for power, I just had a couple more questions that I was like, oh, here's some more questions that you can ponder. And for frontier, I have this map that really well displays that even on a meta level, so much of this world is just a frontier to me. Like I haven't written about it, I haven't developed it. There's an entire like other half of the world here that's covered in ink. There's just a lot of places to explore. And then for relics, we have this ancient map of the Empire of Ether, of which like countless relics have been and can yet be found that can tell us more about this ancient empire that is actually a lot more significant to the world than the people living in it actually are aware of. And yeah, so I think there is our homework for this week. Yes, I will say the relics theme ties in beautifully with the previous two, especially in the context of Malcora and its history. Ruins and relics abound throughout the world, as it is one that regularly makes and breaks empires in a literal sense. Magical shifts in the world and its landscapes often necessitates the evacuation or rebuilding of long-standing settlements, some of which residents never properly return to. Countless relics of abandoned civilizations can be found throughout Malcora, as though waiting for adventurers to stumble upon them. During the On the Shoulders of Giants challenge last year, I wrote about the antecedents, who are the ancient ancestors of humanity. Their empire is the most ancient known to Malcora, but historians yet know little of these long-lost people or how they lived. Whether the information is lost or jealously guarded, we have yet to see. The best map they have is shown below under the spoiler. So this is like the best, I guess, like in-world map that they have, that they've kind of like restored, and like this is like sitting in an archive somewhere in a university, essentially. So they've like restored it. They may have taken some like creative liberties to be like, oh, the world probably looks pretty similar to the way it does now. And they kind of have like this very loose map of some of the larger kind of like civilizations and kingdoms within this empire that may have existed. And so, one of these kingdoms is in a completely uninhabitable, dangerous zone that no one can really go to, and that explains why it hasn't been researched very much. This one out in the west is also in a very dangerous and volatile region. The curious one that I plan to dive into is right here in Arsavella, which is notably not dangerous at all. In fact, it's one of the least magical, least volatile places of the entire world. So now we have to ask the question, why are they not researching this? Why are they not digging for this information? What's stopping them? So we have a lot to go over. A lot to go over, a lot to figure out. So yeah, now we just have now we have one more week of summer camp homework. I'm excited. I'm kind of hoping that we get at least like another badge in here or two, because I know that this like I'm probably gonna have a section about this large again, and then it's gonna make my little sidebar uneven with the bottom of the article. So this is a little call to arms. Anyone who makes a badge, I will feature it here. So yeah. So I will go into some of the community goals that I've written into my pledge here. The control of information is such a pivotal aspect of power dynamics to me, so exploring who knows what and who doesn't is such a fun topic to me. I know, right? So now maybe you can see why I'm so excited about this theme. And also, of course, we remember the first week's theme was power. So not only do I get to go into some of this like ancient stuff that hasn't been touched, the power theme can also help me inform why. And of course, if we're talking about frontiers, like the frontier of knowledge, like that was something that was discussed, like this is a frontier that hasn't been explored yet. Something has barred this like revelation from coming forth. And just from what's cooking in my brain, like if people do discover what is actually going on here, it's probably gonna break a lot of things. And that's probably, if I have to guess, why the people in power don't want it to come forth. Pieces are piecing, the threads are forming. Yes, so these themes are like, they're kind of knocking it out of the park right now. They're so interconnected, but you can also just take them in their own directions. It's great. I love this. And so now I'm sitting here like, what's the fourth one? What's the fourth one? And yeah, so on the topic of community goals, this is a section I've added to my pledge. Streaming, of course. Hello, in case you didn't know, I'm a streamer. So yeah, I'm planning for the month of July co-working streams, article reads, and of course I'm keeping my Sunday gaming so I can just have my little day to relax. So I'm anticipating streaming Tuesdays, 7 p.m. EST. This is a little evening stream for my US crew. So I'll just be doing some writing sprints and co-working, just kind of like trying to knock out some of those prompts together, you know, getting some ideas down. Fridays, I do not currently stream on Fridays, but I do now have free Fridays every week. And so that's really exciting. And so I would love to take Fridays to be a little feral Fridays. And so this is going to be a day of the week where we are taking article reads, or like we are taking article submissions from the previous week of summer camp. 4-day week is in effect, hell yeah, yes! Yes, we have our 4-day week already in effect. Yesterday was my first Friday off. It was great. I woke up in a panic like, oh no, it's Friday, it's 9 o'clock, I'm not in work yet. But then I'm like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere today. Yeah, so Fridays are going to be Feral Fridays. We're going to be looking at article reads for any articles that have been written for the previous week of prompts. And so that's going to be extra exciting. And then, of course, Saturday streams, new prompts, new prompt releases. These are going to be so fun. We're going to immediately just grab them in our jaws, run off with them, do some co-working, brainstorming. It's gonna be a good time. And then Sundays, my usual gaming streams. I'll just be hanging out, playing some video games. We'll see if we like want to shake things up, play different games during each week. And I will say there are going to be a couple weekends during July that I'm just not going to be available, so I won't be able to stream. And it's gonna be like the last two weekends of summer camp, which is unfortunate. But one of them is for like a pre-planned event that I just simply cannot miss. And then the week after that, I believe, is the New York City summer camp picnic, which I will be at. So if anyone is East Coast, I will be happy to see you there. But yeah, other than that, I'm planning to just do these 4 streams a week. Are there plans on who is coming for the collabs you just mentioned? Any familiar faces to look forward to? Well, I don't really know if I'm doing like specifically collaborations, though it would be a fun time. When I say co-working, I just mean like, you know, y'all just come in here and work with me. It might be a little quiet hours, might do some writing sprints. Although I would love to venture into having guests on my stream though. That'd be really cool. I'm just the anxious streamer who hasn't done that before. I meant the co-working. I just forgot the term. Yeah, so it really is just like I'm gonna be working on my prompts, I'm gonna be working on my writing, and I invite everyone to just come here and come along and keep me posted on your progress. A solid schedule. I'm very sad I might not be able to catch Tuesdays, but I'll be doing my best to hop in. Oh, I thank you. I do appreciate it. I know that I feel like the vast majority of people who watch my streams are like the European crew. So my Tuesday 7 p.m. streams are usually not ideal on the timeline. So yeah, I know it's like the absolute middle of the night for most of the Europeans. But I'm teetering on, do I want to do my Friday streams same time as my Saturday Sundays, or do I want to do it earlier? Because I could do my Friday streams like before WorldAnvil stream, and like maybe we could like have a little raiding party and go in there. But yeah, I don't know. Like we could do early in the morning, we could do like afternoon like we do for these streams, like, you know, the one we're sitting in right now. Yeah, of course I'm EST as well, just have a very turbulent schedule. Oh yeah, trust me, I know how that be. So I absolutely do not blame you if you can't make it. But yeah, so on the topic of community, of course, I'm more than in, I lead a chapter in WorldAnvil, and that is the 7 tomes. And I've added a little shout out for you guys over here, my tomies. And yeah, so I'm excited to be just like having a summer camp with a bunch of really cool world builders over in 7 tomes. There are a lot of great chapters are like popping up again, coming back to life. Yes, tomies represent. Yeah, and so 7 tomes, I have a little description here. 7 tomes is a chapter dedicated to fantasy and is home to writers, artists, and other creators of the fantastical variety. Bring with you your swords and spells, your gods and legends, or even the cute little plants you found on the road down in the next village. Our goal is to maintain hype for world building and sharing work, especially during community events, and we'll be planning collaborative projects in the near future. Yeah, I've yet to decide exactly how this will work, but I'm thinking summer camp is in like, the hype is in full swing for summer camp. I'm going to be overwhelmed a little bit if I start trying to add more things on top of that. So near future probably means sometime in August. But I am looking forward to seeing how my tomies approach summer camp, what you create, and yeah, hopefully I'll try making like a little hub article where I can link everyone's pledge articles and things. Oh, that might have been where my brain got the collab stuff then. Looking forward to August then. Wahoo! Yeah, and if you have ideas for things that you like want to do specifically as a group, I'm super open to suggestions as well. No clue how chapters work, but it seems like fun. Yeah, chapters are basically, they're like little writing circles on WorldAnvil, essentially. You can see the full list of chapters that exist over in the info chapters channel in the Discord. And so, straight up, it is just like, you find a writer circle that you think really suits you, and you inquire, you join, and now you have just like a little like subsection of the WorldAnvil community that's just for you guys, and you guys just talk about whatever theme it is that you're revolving around. You support each other, you give advice, feedback, like all that kind of stuff. It really depends on which chapter you're in, because I know they all run a little bit differently, but that's kind of like the gist of all of them. Because I know we have a, because of course ours is a fantasy chapter, Dimmy has a sci-fi chapter, like science fiction thinkers. We have a choose your own ending, like choose your own adventure type chapter. Bowels of the Forge I know is another one. I can just pull up the list right now. Yes, Bowels of the Forge focuses on stories. Let's see. Whether they are set in the world told by world's inhabitants or something completely different. They believe storytelling should be fun. Hanhula runs Table Tale, so this is specifically a chapter for GMs and TTRPG people. As Mature one by Animal. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just scrolling up the list right now. So we have Mr. Chimera with the Traveling Without Moving. A chapter aiming to help users finish their projects. If it's something you can point at and go, I made this, yes, then it counts for our purposes. Yeah, I think Baron was yes, set up the Eclectic Speakeasy. Talk about mature topics of world building from the grim to the lewd and all the odd places we may find ourselves in between. Challenge hype, prompts, and of course opportunities to share and connect with fellow mature world builders. Yes, Adamal is in that chapter, but did not make it. They have a great selection of people in that chapter. And of course Gatolapon is running the Cookie Cottage. It's dedicated to motivation and mutual support, and they're sharing the same hype of Summer Camp and World Ember whenever you want to world build. Danny runs Choose Your Own Ending, and so this is the chapter for those who wish to write like little narrative adventures where you can choose your own path. Let's see, we have Demetris with the Science Fantasy Thinkers. Dejers with Remember, and so it's remembering the community, support, and atmosphere of World Ember, trying to keep that feeling alive until the embers rise again. And that's it. That's the full list right now. And yeah, so there are a lot of great options. I'm in the I was gonna say just that absolutely stacked group in the speakeasy. If there was ever a competition, it'd be the matchup I'd be intimidated by. If I didn't know they were all so lovely. Yeah, that is why we have little rule that's like, yes, we do not compete with each other. There's no competition between chapters. But we are having some fun little things like our chapter will be working with Katobapon's chapter, the Cookie Cottage. We'll be like comparing and sharing and tracking our progress through SummerCamp. No competing, like no competitive energy there, just seeing how we're doing, seeing what we're doing. Thank goodness for that. Gotta keep the collaboration vibes going. Yes, absolutely. I feel like if we started doing like competing chapters, the vibes would be deteriorated. So yeah, these are genuinely just like little groups of like-minded people who want to have a little chat space for themselves. Most of them have some fun badges. Yeah, like if we pop open this, like I made this homepage for the 7 tomes. And we'll see. It's a huge work in progress, of course. So we have our little chapter index. Got members. I'd like to make the category pages more fancy, more fun. But of course we have little pages of like, you know, we got members and like, you know, their world and their favorite things from that world. And I'm just gonna slap Nino in here like, oh look, all this fancy work. Also, it wasn't until I started working on this world that I noticed like these little like visibility togglers. I didn't know those were a thing. There are new member pages, need to read them all. Yeah, I don't think they're all like finished. I would basically say like the ones with icons are done. I just like made a couple ahead of time. I sent out like a little form to people to go like fill out and like, oh, here's your like, you know, here's what I need from you to make this little page come together. I was building this world in like Bootstrap 5, which is different from my world. So I don't know if that's just like I don't know if that's just like a feature of that thing. Like I didn't add anything like or change stuff to add this. But I noticed this while I was editing this world in particular. I'm like, huh, interesting. I can just click on stuff and remove it from public view. Which is wacky. Interesting. So visibility toggles are probably disabled on your other world. Is that a thing that like is that an option somewhere? Cause I don't know, cause I don't remember it I don't remember ever specifically turning it off, but maybe I did at one point. Maybe I was like, oh, I don't want to look at these things. They're weird. It's a Grandmaster feature. Okay. Oh, well, that I did not know. I don't know if it's one that I would use. Maybe that's why I turned it off and just forgot about it. There's a bug that if you upgrade it, it is disabled in existing world. Oh. Okay, I got you. So yeah, that's probably what happened, because I had my pre-existing world and then upgraded at one point and then upgraded again. So your new world, it's there. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than whatever I was thinking. But yeah, so we will continue building out this this homepage. We have kind of just like this little concept going so far that we will have like the 7 tomes of fantasy that kind of make up like the broad overarching themes that define fantasy as a like genre. And so I would love to get all of us in this chapter together, just like featuring and spotlighting like for our favorite ideas and concepts from our worlds. Like even featuring our worlds in here, you know, like the Tome of Plains, obviously, we could just include our worlds in here. Oh, let's see, the recently updated Codex article on these. Guide to visibility toggles. I see. Let's go to the sidebar, click on the cog, navigate to display tab under global options. You should see the toggle for visibility toggle. Cool. Yes, important to note that when upgrading the account in existing worlds, the visibility toggle is disabled by default. 7 tomes sounds super cool. What requirements would need to be met if I wanted to join? I mean, the requirements are very lax. Have a world. have a world project that you are actively working on that is fantasy themed. So if you are of the fantasy genre and you have a world that you are actively working on in that genre, that's kind of the only requirement. So you just need to just bring with you that world, a love for fantasy, like have some goals, have some things that you're working on, and yeah, just like have some goals. Prepare to just be like supportive. We expect people to be at least like relatively active in there. Like you don't need to be in there 24/7 every single day. No. But like come in, stop by, offer some feedback if people are asking for it. You know, drop some of your own work in there, asking for some feedback if you need it. And share the things that you're excited about. And we're just like trying to keep the spirit of like, you know, we are creators, we are creating things, and we love the fantasy genre. So yeah, if you genuinely would like to, you know, inquire as to joining, you are more than welcome to DM me on Discord. We have, so 7 tomes is like one of those older chapters where, like, it was made years ago, and like I kind of just came into leadership of it recently. So we have a lot of users in there that are like pretty much completely inactive, and so it has been my mission more recently since taking over to reach out to people like, hey, hey, I noticed you haven't been around in Check's Watch 2 years. Are you still interested in world building or being in this chapter? If not, you may have to step down because we only have so many slots. I hate sending those messages. It makes me feel like I'm like interrogating people like, hey, where have you been? No. But yeah, so we're kind of like in the process of like removing people who don't want to be there anymore and just like adding people here and there. Yeah, it's always awkward to send. Yeah, like, again, like we're not gonna expect anyone to be like super duper active, but you know, check in like at least every once in a while. You know, the people I'm going after right now are the people who haven't been around in months, even years. So I'm just kind of like checking in like, hey, you joined this chapter forever ago. Are you still interested in being here? Are you interested in coming back and being more active? If not, maybe consider stepping down, because we're trying to revive chapters like as a whole in the community, and so spaces are limited. But we do have room for more people. So again, if you are interested, I am in fact line in the WorldAnvil Discord. I don't feel comfortable removing people without asking them like, hey, what's poppin'? Because genuinely, maybe they just forgot the chapters were a thing. Because it's completely fair. Chapters kind of like went dead for a while. A lot of chapters completely shut down. Because people just weren't using them. And so if I message someone and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was in there anymore. I am still active in the community and would like to be part of the group. And so, yeah. And so I will give people the opportunity to stick around if they so desire, but for the most part, I've like, you know, messaged people and they've been like, oh yeah, I'm not really gonna be around much anymore. So if they're not gonna be around much anymore, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. The invitation is open if you want to come back in the future. But yeah, a bunch of people have stepped down because they're like, they're not really active anymore, or they're just not really feeling the whole like chapter space. It doesn't, like they don't feel like it's valuable for them, so they'll open up their slot to a new person, you know, things like that. So yeah. I'm just trying to make a fun little group come together. Let's see. You know, should I update the pledge first or write some new stuff? I will say, I will agree. Update your pledge. Keep the hype going. And then I don't know, maybe after you do your homework, you can come up with some more ideas for new stuff. Oh, okay. So what else is going on? Oh yes, what is the extra credit for Seasoned Worlds? Sort through your old images and gather new ones you might need. Art and images are a great way to show what something looks like at a glance, and knowing which image you already have on your world will help you world build quicker during July. Always remember to only use images you have permission to use. Of course. Laura Bones, hello! Gosh, you're a first-time chatter? Why did I feel like you've already been here before? Anyway, hello, welcome. How you doing? We were just having a discussion about chapters. I was plugging my chapter, of course, 7 tomes. And it's looking like we got some new interested people. So that's exciting. All right. And yes, of course, so if you do message me about joining the chapter, I will also have to like forward that to the mods. So it might not be instantaneous that you'll get your little invitation, but of course, once you are, I will message you back asking you like, you know, for a link to your world and what your username is, because that's what the mods ask for. So yeah, you can also just like send me that ahead of time, I think. Yeah, so I need to say like to the mods like, hey, this person of this world wishes to join the chapter, and then whenever they get around to adding them, then I can send my little welcome pings and everything. So that's how that works essentially. So depending on like who's active and when the mods are awake, sometimes it can take like a couple hours before they're like, oh yes, we can add this person, no problem. So it's not really a question of approval and more of just like a time thing. Oh, now I'm looking to see what I can just do with my last 15 minutes. I'm thinking that since maybe the extra credit is talking about images, we can go have like a little peep through our images and see what we need, like what we have, what we lack. Because I do, of course, like I have a lot of old images that I kind of just don't really care for anymore. It's actually really bizarre for me to see, like even in 2021 SummerCamp, we've already been kind of like messing around with the whole AI thing. It's like that was when Art Breeder started being like a thing. I think so, and so that's where I got like some of these like character images, and they were like my inspiration for the Ascani. And that is a flavor of human that I need to rewrite a little bit. I need to rewrite all the flavors of human in my world. Because they're just, Because the definition of what it means to be human has changed since I started writing my world. And kind of just like, the concept of being a person in this world has changed. It's gone through a lot of iterations, let me say that. Because we started as like a D&D 5e, just like homebrew setting. So naturally, because it was a 5e setting, I had like all the normal like fantasy races in there. But those don't really real anymore. Those don't happen unless I end up writing things that are like reminiscent, sort of, in the future. But at their core, every like flavor of person in my world is human. They are just changed and shaped differently by magic. And they always have the possibility of changing into something different or changing back. It's really kind of up in the air sometimes. Because sometimes these changes are permanent and they're not nice. Sometimes they are temporary. And it really depends on like the flavor of magic that's coursing through their part of the world at that time. So I'm kind of building out Malcora to be this world that's really themed around the concept of like rapid evolution and change and like adaptation, really. So things are built and broken and rebuilt again. And just like the nature of what a civilization is can change kind of like on a whim. And I look forward to seeing how I can explore this in the future, because it's a massive undertaking. I gotta go for now. Go into lurk mode. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Why, thank you. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for repping 7 tomes. So, alright. I also wish Discord would stop notifying me for like their birthday stuff. Because I keep looking at my little like notifications thing and I see like that red 1 next to it and I'm like, oh, new stuff? I'm like, no, it's just their birthday again or something. It's like, I get it, you're excited. I would also be excited for my own birthday, but you've been notifying me about it for a month. And it's every time I open Discord. Just tells you activities are now permanent for everyone. Yeah, it's not even anything like particularly exciting. Oh. But yeah, I don't really want these images to exist in my world anymore. Discord gave itself its own birthday present trolling their users. True. But yeah, none of these AI images really like speak to me anymore. I don't really care for them. But this image here is actually one that I made. Like I drew this. It was a while ago at this point. Gosh, when did I upload this? Is there metadata on this? No, I don't know. May 2021. Yeah, so I made this 2 years ago. That's pretty cool. I haven't really drawn a whole lot of things for myself in a while. And I'm hoping... Okay, I say it every single year. I say it every year for every event, like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna draw my own stuff for this event. And then I don't. Because honestly, like, I just run out of time. I have this whole folder of stream sketches. These little things that I've drawn while on stream. We're gonna pop this over here, just because... A little change of scenery. That thing's been open for like 10 years. Of course I have all my burbs. All my birds from Bestiary February. And the little description that I added. A good pidge. Yeah, so we'll hold on to these images. I have a little section for maps. Some of these are really old. Some of them are new. Oh, me too. Happened to me during World Ember. Like, I should have done my drawings before the challenge. Oh yeah, I mean, for World Ember it's a lot easier to prepare visual-like stuff. Because at least for World Ember, you can go in planning exactly what you're going to write about. For Summer Camp, you kind of have to think on the fly. Like you can't just prep ahead like that, because you don't know exactly what you're going to be writing about, what the prompts are going to be asking you for. Because you can go in any direction. So even still, you can look at the prompt and then think like, ooh, I was gonna write about this, but now I kind of want to write about this. You know, like things can just go any direction. So if you're gonna prep artwork ahead of time, I think World Ember is the time to do it. For Summer Camp honestly would be the time where you don't really plan a whole lot. Like the extent of my Summer Camp planning is just like taking the themes that they're giving us and like being like, ooh, here are all these different things that I think really tie in very well, and I will keep them in the back of my mind. And so anything that I come up with to write about at this time, I at least have a foundation. I at least know which topics I plan to touch upon in my world. For World Ember, you can go into it and say, okay, there's a thing I need to flesh out in my world, and it is exactly the thing that I'm going to be working on. I'm just, you know, maybe I'll work on some visual material during prep month, maybe I'll just start like writing about the different topics that I want to cover, where I could branch out into after, you know, I've kind of let myself drive words for it. And yeah, so you can prep a lot more specific stuff for World Ember. For Summer Camp, it's just like, it's a lot more fast-paced, it's a lot more thinking on your feet. And so if you are the kind of person who's able to do like small, quick illustrations, I'm not. Small, quick illustrations, Summer Camp is like your time to shine with the art. But other than that, yeah, it's a toughie. Because I will be hard pressed to produce 32 illustrations or more for my articles during Summer Camp. It's not happening. We're gonna be lucky if I get like 2. Yeah, let's see. I have this little cropped screenshot. I think I just posted this somewhere. So I could just add it to an article. I don't know where I put this though. Did I put in a journal entry? Is that what I did? I'll just turn off the scroll. Okay, yeah, I did. Yeah, when I was working on some last-minute world building awards stuff. And so I just made that little screenshot to be like, hey, I'm working on this map today. But yeah, I'm really happy and lucky if I managed to do like 2 drawings for Summer Camp. Yeah, same. I would like to get at least a couple more like small things done. Like I would like to train myself to do smaller, simpler things. Like I want to have like tiny little micro illustrations that I can put into my world. But every time I sit down to draw something, my brain's like, make it big. Make it a full illustration. Make it rendered. Make it beautiful. And so then I just don't get anything done. Yeah, I'm almost always 0 to 100, and finding the in-between is very healthy. I'm trying to do that. Especially since I have a lot of other work to do. Because like I still have a lot of artwork to complete for the Kickstarter project. It's like now that it's funded, we're like, okay, time to go rapid fire. We're gonna try to get as much work done as possible in like as short of a time as possible. And that is overlapping with Summer Camp, and so I'm like, hey. Yeah, it's like, don't do a simple line art, just add the color and the shadows and the lights. It's always the just statement that gets me. Like, oh, we'll just add in this extra little detail, and then I'm like, ooh, well, just adding that one little detail makes it feel unfinished. So I'm like, okay, I'll just add this one other thing. And then I'll just add this one extra touch-up. And then I'll just fix the shadows, maybe have them come from a different direction, because I actually kind of don't like what I did the first time. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll add a background. Why do I do this to myself? Oh, we have this collection of images from Inktober 2018, which is like one of the first little events that I participated on WorldAnvil. So cute. Like, look at this. Hey, I liked this artwork. I'm just gonna open it in a new tab. Such an artsy photo too. Back when I used to do a lot more physical art, or like traditional, I guess is the word. Me, the artist, forgetting my own terminology. Oopsie poopsie. But yeah, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll just do a complete pivot of the art style of Melkora and I'll just start doing like traditional line art. Be a lot of fun. Like the shading is a lot of fun. I just, yeah, as long as you're having fun with it, yeah. See, what I would also like to do, since we're touching on the power theme, is if I could work on more... If I could work on more of the deities of my world and work on more holy symbols, which is what these are. Or it's not really loading very well. But yeah, so we had like a bunch of holy symbols like this for different gods of my world. And I made them ages ago. I would like to make even more. Like, when did I upload this? 2019. Yeah, so I made these a while ago, and I need to make more. You know, my placeholder images that I just made recently. I think they're cute. It's just this. And they just kind of sit wherever I don't have a thing yet, but I want my formatting to look like there's a thing there. That's very handy. I recommend using placeholder images if you have like a very particular way of laying stuff out. And so then when you actually get the image that you seek, you can just slot it in there instead and your article as a whole doesn't really suffer for it. In my image bank I have all these badges that I've added for like little competition articles. I like looking at it, it's very cute. Like all these little designs just all in one place. Let's see. On all my emotes. And how could we forget the little pungent emotes that I made of Janet absolutely radiant and delightfully happy and Dimmy just face in hand. It was a fun one to do. They were really fun. I was inspired by a screenshot I took off of stream. Very accurate, yeah. It happens every time. Like we were talking, like that's why the missions are so expensive. Because Dimmy's trying to convince everyone to stop buying pungeons. Oh, now this little folder. This was back when I made like a whole bunch of article headers, out of like public domain artworks and images and such. So I was just like, oh, I want some pretty things, and I kind of just want to have I want to have like this whole collection of things that I can just use and have permission to use. Like these are free and I can just use them wherever I want to. So just like from different collections of old artwork from different archives that are just in the public domain now. Which is also my pro tip. If you need images for stuff, like there are databases full of just like artwork and other images that are completely free, all public domain. You can do whatever you want with them. They are great for headers and other reference images that you have permission to use. You don't need to worry about, like, you know, being run down for copyright. Because I know a lot of people do use images that they just like kind of find on the internet, and even with credit, sometimes it can still get you in a little bit of trouble. Like if the original source sees you using it and they don't like it, they can issue a takedown notice. And I think, just from what I've heard, that like it could result in your world being taken down. I don't know how 100% accurate that is, but I think that's I think that is a concern with like actual copyright disputes. So yeah, just be careful out there, kids. Yeah, that stuff is no joke. Yeah. So yeah, most of the art that I have on my world is either it's this public domain stuff or it's like AI, which I kind of don't want to use as much anymore. So we're trying to get out of that habit. It was all the rage last year, but now I'm like, yeah, kind of just not feeling it no more. But yeah, public domain, AI imagery, or I made it myself. And so that's kind of like, those are the three kind of like safe bets. Like, you know, make it yourself, produce it yourself, or get it from somewhere where the images are distinctly free. You know, like royalty-free photos, those are options as well. Thinking I might put together like a little resource somewhere where I kind of just go into like, you know, here's where you can get some art that is, you know, for free. And I'll try to find things that are like distinctly not AI generated. And so, you know, a lot of people try to avoid those things, and I'm also kind of in that boat more and more lately. My stance on AI basically is like, don't make money off of it. Like, don't sell something that you didn't actually make. It's kind of like the whole reason I find it really silly when people consider themselves artists for making AI is like, you put in a prompt and the machine gave you art in response. What you did was commission artwork. You didn't make it. You follow the same exact process, you tell an artist what you want and they make it for you. That's basically what just happened. You're not the artist. So yeah. So I will try my best to maybe get some resources together for like where you can source images from, where you can just find stuff. And yeah, we can just we can spread the good word of ethically sourced art. Because I know there was like a little kerfuffle in the Discord a little while ago where people were like, I'm not gonna credit artists because that's silly. Like, you shouldn't be using other artists' work at all. And so I think rather than arguing about it, I should just put some resources out there for where you can find art, and hopefully some of it works for you. But I must go, or it is my 4 o'clock-ish end of stream time, and so we're gonna see if there's anyone. We're gonna see if there's anyone raidable. So I know Saturdays it's kind of like a mix-up or toss-up if there's like anybody just kind of available to go look at. I'm thinking I'm going to send you over to Tail Foundry. Looks like there's some art happening, and that's pretty exciting. Yes. Yeah, so I will send you guys over to Tail Foundry, who is currently streaming, doing some art stuff. And so, yes, I wish you the happiest of happy, lovely days. You know, stay happy, stay hydrated, keep sharing the community love with everyone. And happy world building, everyone. It is almost summer camp time. So yes, hop into the raid, say your little hellos, drop a little hi in the chat, and you know, stick around if you like, because Tail Foundry does some cool stuff. I'll see you guys later, maybe tomorrow. Goodbye.